guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another decluttering video. Again, I am decluttering eyeshadow palettes. Realized I have way too many. In with the new, you gotta get out with the old. And I thought I would sit down and share them with you guys. So if you're interested in finding out all of the eyeshadow palettes that I will be getting rid of, then please just keep watching. So the first thing I want to mention before I dive into this whole declutter video is what I'm wearing on my lips today. And if you guys are fresh from my favorite drugstore nude lipsticks, lip liners, and lip gloss video that I posted last week, I didn't mention this one because I just got this one and I love it. So definitely if you made a little list from my last video, add this to it because it's amazing. This is the L'Oreal Color Riche Matte Sharpenable Lip Liner in Matte Stermine, like the word matte, and then there's a hyphen, Stermine, as if a play on words of mastermind. It's kind of cheesy, but I love the color. It's number 112, and it's a beautiful mauve-y, kind of taupey nude. This is the absolute creamiest pencil lip liner I have ever tried from the drugstore, mind you, that it almost feels as if I'm applying a gel, a liquid lip to my lip. And then it dries, it stays matte, it doesn't budge, and it looks so pretty. It doesn't look drying, it feels very comfortable. Unfortunately, I picked this up after I filmed that drugstore favorite nudes video last week, so I wasn't able to include it, but I thought I would mention it quickly today so you guys can check it out. And again, it's the L'Oreal Color Riche Matte Lip Liner in Matte Stermine. Okay, so let's get started with the first palette I will be decluttering. This is by the brand Real Her. I've never heard of this brand before. I actually got this in the BoxyCharm subscription service. It's called the Do Your Squats Shadow Palette. Palette of 9 shades. I actually mentioned this in my recent disappointing products video, but for some reason I held on to it. I guess I thought maybe I'd give it another try, see if I really didn't like it, and honestly I don't. This is a great palette for somebody that's brand new to makeup, that maybe is not used to blending eyeshadow or working with very pigmented powders. It's a great product for that person because it's very easy to build and work with and kind of just start your eyeshadow adventures with, because it's very easy to work with in that sense. But if you like a very pigmented powder, a pigmented eyeshadow palette, this is not for you. I remember on the website it was in that $20 or $30 range. Does not seem worth the price tag whatsoever. I have found so many better palettes from NYX and Essence and other brands at the drugstore, like CoverGirl's even coming out with amazing palettes for 10 bucks. So definitely pass on this brand. Real Her, was not impressed, and I will definitely be decluttering it right now. And then I did want to mention though, in a recent BoxyCharm box, I believe the one of this past month, I got the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2 eyeshadow palette. It's what I'm wearing today on my eyes. I love it. It's such a beautiful palette. First of all, the packaging is it's so cute. I love anything with purple and turquoise on it. It has that gold detail. I love the fact that it looks like a compact. It's really cute. It's sturdy. It has a mirror, and then you have this beautiful round shape of shadows, and it's a great collection of colors. You have a beautiful highlighting shade, some pretty dark teal colors and blues, and then you get into your darker, deeper browns. I love this palette. It's really awesome. So just because 1 month BoxyCharm released a kind of crappy palette, at least in my personal experience, doesn't mean that their boxes are junk, because I do find a lot of great products in my BoxyCharm boxes, and BoxyCharm doesn't know who I am. I just really love their subscription service, so I often find things I love and they end up making their way into favorites videos. So I thought if I was going to diss one palette from that subscription service, I would mention another one that was definitely a hit. Sometimes that's how it is with subscription services. Things work out for you, sometimes they don't. This next palette that I'm going to be getting rid of, I don't have any swatches of it, and that's simply because I've never used it, so I will be giving it away to someone as a gift in my family probably, and it's the Lorac Pro To Go palette. It's an eye and cheek palette. I remember first picking it up because it seemed so ingenious. Who doesn't love the idea of the perfect traveling kind of palette, because you have your eyeshadows up here, really pretty shades. I do love Lorac's powders, but I have all of the Lorac Pro palettes. I don't ever reach for this. I never have reached for it, so I figured I might as well give it away to someone. In fact, save it as a gift for someone maybe in the holiday season, because maybe they'll give it a better home and actually put it to some good use, whereas I'm not even using it, so it doesn't make sense to hang on to it. And then on the bottom you have 2 blushes and a bronzing powder, which I think is amazing. You have all of your powders in here for your face and for your eyes. It folds up nicely, easy for traveling. I never reach for this. I don't even know why I picked it up. So it's time to say goodbye. Hopefully I can give her a better home and I will be saying goodbye. These next 2 palettes are drugstore. They're from the brand Sleek Makeup, which is, I believe, a UK based brand. I actually purchased these online. I actually purchased 4 of these palettes online. I decided to keep 2 and get rid of 2. The 2 that I decided to keep are called Sunset and I think Stormy. The Stormy one has blues and grays, and then Sunset is brights and bolds, so I decided to keep those. But these 2 I'm going to pass on, the Oh So Special palette and the Oh Naturel palette. And the reason being, as you'll see in the close-ups and swatches, is that They are pretty colors, but they're not pigmented. They're very powdery and they're just lackluster. I feel like you would have to sit there for a really long time to build up any of these colors on your eyelids. It just isn't worth it to me. It does have some really pretty peachy transitioning shades, but I have similar ones from Makeup Geek that are just so much creamier and easier to use. So hopefully somebody else that isn't as spoiled as I am with pigmentation and just bolder eyeshadow colors, that is just getting into makeup, will appreciate this palette. Maybe I'll give it to one of my little cousins or something. Even the glittery ones are too chunky. I feel like they fall off my eyes, they give fallout. But if you're looking for that bold, dramatic eye, the more you pack on your eyes, the more it's gonna fall off. So it's better to just pass this along. Bye bye sleek makeup. I wasn't impressed with you, unfortunately. These next two are also from the drugstore. This one is the NYX Avant Pop 10 color shadow palette Nouveau Chic. As far as pigmentation, it's definitely pigmented, and when you swatch it on your hands, and you will see in the close-up how extremely pigmented and creamy they look. But when you go to apply this to your actual lids, I feel like the colors kind of, how do I describe it? They kind of chunk up and cause a lot of fallout. The issue with this, I feel like, is that you do pick up a lot of product with your brush. You can even do it with your fingers, but you almost pick up too much product. It's a little bit too chunky as well as powdery, so you get tons of eyeshadow fallout, and I hate that because I feel like you're paying this money for this palette, but half of the product is not being used, it's being wasted, it's falling out. I also don't like the fact that a lot of these colors I would never wear. I don't know why I even picked this up. It has a teal, a purple. They're too cool tone for me. The only color I really like is this kind of foresty green here. It's a really pretty emerald shade. I may depot this shadow, store it somewhere else if I can figure out how to do it, and give the rest of them away. But I just wasn't impressed with the formulation because I have other NYX palettes that are amazing. I don't get fallout. They're creamy, they apply, and they just build and look really bold. Whereas this one falls off of my eyes more than it actually stays on. So I'm going to be passing this one along. And then this next one is from Pixie. This is the It's Judy Time palette. This is amazingly pigmented. The color selection is really gorgeous. I really like it a lot. Some people even say that this could be a dupe for the new Naked Heat palette from Urban Decay, but I'm passing it along simply because I actually have two of them, and I don't know how I ended up with two. I have a brand new one in my vanity in its original box right now, and I'm going to save it for someone for their Christmas present, and I'll hang on to this one because it's already been swatched and played with quite a few times, and I'm only decluttering the extra one. I want to share the wealth, so I will be passing one along, but I do highly recommend you guys checking out the Pixie palette with It's Judy Time because it's really, really creamy and pigmented, and I was impressed. And then the last two palettes, I have a high-end and a kind of more affordable version. The first one I will be passing up is the, I know you can't believe it, the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette. And I used it a handful of times, and then I just kind of stopped reaching for it. I completely forgot about it. And I believe I used it the most when I first received it because it was that. It was something brand new, it was exciting, it was something I wanted to play with. I was newer to makeup than I am now. And I don't reach for it anymore because even though it does have these first three gorgeous shimmery shades, which are called High, Dirty Sweet, and Radar, but they're similar shades already in the original Naked palettes that I own, and the rest is cool tone. They're not really shades I'm going to reach for. I'm not really a cool tone person. If I do want to do a cool tone eye, I have a beautiful matte palette, the Mad for Matte from e.l.f. It has gorgeous cool tone shades that I seem to reach for more, and I don't reach for this. I'm going to be passing it along, but I do have some good news about this palette because it kind of pained me to get rid of it in my collection. Even though I wasn't using it, I kind of didn't want to pass it along and get rid of it until I realized that the Morphe Brushes palette in the 35K, which I kindly refer to as the Coffee palette, even though it's a K, coffee's with a C, but I don't know why I always refer to this as the Coffee palette because it has a lot of gorgeous brown, bronzy, rusty, warm shades in it, but it also has a whole bunch of cool tone shades down here, and they are exact dupes for the Naked Smoky palette. There was only one shade in the Naked Smoky palette that I was unable to dupe with this palette, though there were similar shades to the one I couldn't dupe, but they weren't quite exact. It's the fifth to last dark purple shade called Smolder. It's like a dark, deep purple that has some shimmer to it. It's the only shade I couldn't really find in this 35K palette from Morphe, but all the other ones, as you'll see in the swatches, are nearly, if not identical, to the Naked Smoky palette. So I will be passing Naked Smoky along. I reach for my 35K way more because even though I don't reach for the cool tone shades as much, I do reach for the more neutral, warm, and rusty shades. I like knowing that they're here. I like knowing that they're dupes to my Naked Smoky, that I don't need the Naked Smoky, that I can make room in my eyeshadow palette collection by hanging on to this sleeker, thinner palette versus that chunky one from Urban Decay. I'm going to give that one a good home. So it's great having everything in one. So that's a great find. And then the last palette that I will be passing along is the Morphe Brushes 35W. This is the first Morphe palette I ever ordered online. And I'm gonna give it away because I don't reach for it anymore. I feel like there's a lot of pinky shades in here and just really boring, kind of basic shades that I already have in other palettes that I reach for more often, so I don't feel the need to keep this huge palette of 35 shades when I only really like this dark pretty bronzy shade and this bright orange. I will be attempting to depot these two shades in the hopes that I can stick them in another magnetic palette and save them, because the rest I will definitely be giving up because I just don't reach for it. And that's the 35W. I have a lot of Morphe palettes because pretty affordable. You get 35 shades in this huge, sleek, thin, easy to store packaging. So I do pick them up every once in a while, but I have the 35K, the 35T, which is taupe. I have the 35D, which are deep colors. I have a bold and bright one. I have the O, which is the most amazing orangey palette. I don't need to have a million of them. And this 35W is just kind of sitting there ignored. So I might as well give it a better home. So guys, that's it. I needed to film a video for you guys. I needed to clean up my room. So I did two things in one. It helped me out, and hopefully it was entertaining for you guys as well. Thanks to those of you that enjoyed my last declutter video. I could tell by your views, by your thumbs up, and your sweet comments. Don't forget to request any other videos you'd like to see on my channel next, because honestly, I do not know what I'm going to film next. I'm filming this on a Thursday to get this up for you guys on Monday, and Hurricane Irma is in its path, making its way to Florida. And I'm really nervous because a lot of my family and friends live down there, so hopefully they'll be safe. Hopefully this hurricane will slow down, become a smaller category, and just not be so devastating. And hopefully it doesn't make its way up here to North Carolina, because if it does, I will be without power and I may not be able to film. So if you guys don't see me next Monday, don't worry. I will be back as soon as I can. Hopefully things go according to plan, and I will be seeing you guys next Monday with a brand new video. Please request anything you want to see below, or hit me a tweet at Fashion Chalet on Twitter to let me know what you want to see, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Hey guys. I will be probably, so I do pick up them